Yo team, what is up? I am in my car again. Excuse the fact I've got my hood up. I'm not going to do any physique updates this week or anything like that because I just don't really think you care. You've seen it a lot. What I'm going to speak about very quickly, this week's vlog is going to be a Q&A, so I'm going to answer that later on. But something I just want to go through is this. Christmas is next week, and personally, myself and Robin are going to be giving some presents, money, whatever we can to charity, because there's a lot of families and kids around where I stay anyway that are probably in need, especially over COVID and things like that. Like, families are struggling, and let's be honest, I'm 30. What do I need for Christmas? Do you know what I mean? There's people out there who aren't as lucky. So if you're someone who, I'm thankfully in a position I can give some back. If you're someone who's the same, you've got some spare cash, please have a look at these things, because like, it's far more important that a child wakes up on Christmas with someone than you. And if you're out there, you're probably going to buy some stuff that people just don't need. Like, how many handbags does your missus really need? And all that shit. I think there's way more important stuff than that. So if anyone's interested, drop me a DM. I can send you some of the links I got told for where I am, and I presume it works where you are as well. So anyway, thank you very much for listening, and I will go into the Q&A in a minute. So for the Q&A, loads of people asked random shit, and a lot of the questions were similar, so I'm going to answer as many as I can before it is an hour and no one wants to watch that. So question number 1, advice to your younger self when starting the gym. I actually get asked this quite a lot, and it's pretty simple. I'll break it down into like sections. 1, do not ask the biggest guy in the gym how to train, because chances are, he's most likely some big gearhead that is just big but looks like shit and doesn't know how to train. That'd be 1. Logbook from the get-go. So actually tracking what I'd done. I wish I'd done that, because there was actually a phase like a couple of years into training where I was relatively strong. Obviously I probably wasn't lifting very well, but it would have been nice to see the progression and the numbers. Follow a program rather than just making it up as you go along. I did go through phases of following programs, because I used to train with my mate Mark, who lifts weights really well, but when I wasn't training with him, it would just be kind of start stop. So I'd say the first like maybe 6 years of training I probably didn't get much progress, just because I was training like shit, all that stuff. So if you're newly starting at the gym, the easiest thing is learn how to lift weights properly before you chuck loads of weight on. So that's what I would have said to myself. I would have probably said as well, sort that haircut out, because that was shocking. This one I can't really answer, but I'll try. Tips for gaining confidence. What you're probably finding is that the cat's ran between my legs, and he just sneezed, so if you heard that, that is Leo. For gaining confidence, what you're probably finding is you're looking at Instagram and you're thinking that people are confident, whereas people are just on Instagram. It's fake. And also when you see people speaking, so when you see me like speaking on a vlog or I'm speaking on a video, I probably come across quite confident, but I'm speaking about stuff I understand or know. So I'm relatively confident in that field. If you ask me about something else, like if you ask me to speak French, I'm probably not going to look that confident. So I'd say don't try and find it. Just kind of do what you're doing, and you'll get there in the end. Like, when you're good at one thing, you'll probably be confident in it. But don't look on Instagram and presume that people are like confident. Most of them are just fuckwits that post shit or photos of their ass. They're probably not confident in their own skin. This one is tips for someone who has had an eating disorder in the past and they're looking to go into a gaining phase. And they've said it can be intense and scary. So personally speaking, that would be above my like level of coaching. Like, you would need to go with someone who, the honest answer would be hire a coach, and hire a good coach who is probably like experienced in that field. Either someone who is a very good coach in terms of they've experienced it before and they've got anecdotal like experience in it, or just someone who specialises in it. And there are a lot of people out there who are very good with it. Personally, it's just not really my strong point, but I would have a look around. Clara's obviously very good at working with that, but there are other good coaches that do it. So that would be my honest answer. Obviously a gaining phase is relatively difficult. You're female as well, so it can be harder because obviously you've got to look at different aspects of that. Then when you add in the previous experience with an eating disorder, it can make it very difficult. So I would just say hire a coach. Here's it. How do I stay so focused when Leo is so cute? Well, if you can't see him running about in the background, I don't know if you can, he's not always cute. But the honest answer is, I just, well, he's normally sleeping when I'm working, to be honest. I'll see if he comes over. Yeah, he's normally sleeping when I'm working, but I just kind of, I'll show you. So, what I mainly do is, I just like annoy him with my foot when I'm working, and he'll just sit there. But he is very cute, isn't he? Look at him. But yeah, I just kind of hide from him a bit and stuff, or he tries to attack me, so I don't really have any choice but to play with him. As you can see, he's really enjoying this, picking up. He'll sit, I guess, all day, but yeah, I just kind of, I don't really ignore him, I just show him some attention. Oh, what are you doing? You try to attack me? He's wanting to get on the Christmas tree because it's his play toy. Right, down you go. So anyway, that is that answered. Thanks, Clara. How long did I work one-to-one before I went online? Ooh. Remember, thanks for this question, by the way, because obviously I know you. Remember, I'm old, so I'm 30. I can't actually remember. Like, I want to say maybe 6 years, 7 years maybe. I know I took a year out because I went to Australia, but I'd say like 5 or 6 years one-to-one. And if you're someone who's starting out in the industry and you want to be an online coach, unless you are a genius, go be a one-to-one coach first, because also, by the way, this is what Leo does, he plays fetch. Don't know, you can't see him, but he's a way to go chase that. With one-to-one coaching, you kind of see the emotional side of it and see all the, like, coaching isn't just nutrition and a training plan, so you get to know people. If you are not very good at that, you're not going to be a good online coach. So I was a coach for, I would say, maybe 6, maybe 7 years. And I'd say the first few years were just learning. So one-to-one coaching is like your apprenticeship, and then you go on to online coaching. So something along those lines. Someone might tell me, Vaughn will probably be able to tell me, I think I worked as a PT 1 year longer than him. Benefits of Vibrams, are they better than Converse? So what you've got to think about is, people think I just wear Vibrams just because I want to piss people off because nobody likes to see toes. The easiest way to describe this is, well, also, by the way, in the term benefit, it depends on what you're doing. Like, are they more beneficial than Converse if I'm walking down the road? Probably not. What I personally find is, and again, this is anecdotal, say if I'm doing an RDL or a leg press where I want to be able to connect with the floor or the platform, I can pull my toes into it. So I used to always coach when I was teaching an RDL. Imagine you're underneath sand and you're trying to dig your toes in. Well, you can't really do that with shoes on, whereas Vibrams, you've got a little bit more ability to move, and I just find I connect better with my actual muscles. Also, you've got to look at the fact that kind of close up the floor, so there probably is some like real technical reasons for it, but I just prefer them. Like, from the day I bought them, my leg sessions have been better. So if you feel like someone who needs to connect more with your legs, I do feel they work a lot. You've just got more ability to screw your feet into the floor. But yes, I'm aware they look ridiculous. Might buy a few more pairs though, just to piss people off. I hope that answers it. You could drop me a DM, by the way, and I can speak to you, because it depends. You're probably asking from like a balance perspective or stuff like that. There are a few more like reasons you would wear them. Any specific tips for a type 1 diabetic looking to gain size? First thing I would say is, you are diabetic, you're not an alien. There is no difference. Like, if someone messaged me, hey, I've got asthma, is there any difference in gaining size? Yes, but not enough for you to worry about. Being diabetic gives you an actual, you've got an added benefit that you can control your insulin. Insulin's very anabolic, so I won't go into the reasons why it's anabolic, unless you want me to, which is boring. You can DM me if you don't know. lock and key would be the main thing. But there is no real difference unless you're someone who's got very, very poor blood glucose control, but you should be checking it a lot. I wear a constant monitor that I can use my phone with. There's not really any difference. Like, some people will have more of a spike in sugars when they use certain carbohydrates, which then can make you feel worse. So, like, for example, I probably can't have as much pre-workout carbs as someone else would, but I know my body, so there's not really any difference. For your ability to gain muscle, you're actually in a better position because you can manipulate the insulin, so you can utilize carbohydrates post-workout and give yourself insulin, which you would need to do anyway. That's going to be really beneficial. So there's no difference. Like, calories in, calories out, or energy balance will dictate whether you build muscle or not. That and training hard shouldn't really make too much like, you shouldn't be worried about it. I know you spoke to me on Instagram, and it's one of those things where if you're not used to it, it's probably scary because you think, oh, I'm going to eat more carbs and my blood sugar is going to go mad. Once you've sort of tried it and trialed it for a couple of weeks, you'll know when and where to take insulin. Plus, you have to remember that even the best controlled diabetic, your sugars are still going to move around. So don't worry too much about it, just trial and error. More carbs are not going to make your control worse. And I think that's what a lot of people think. So shouldn't really affect you too much. Other thing with carbs is, if I eat cereal, my blood glucose seems to be pretty stable. If I eat white rice, mine seems to go through the roof. It's not faster acting than cereal, but seems to just work better. So we all have different levels of control with different things. So I would just utilize carbohydrates that you seem to not spike so much with, would be the answer. But again, drop me a DM, we can chat about it. This one, Robin's sitting there, I'll let her answer this one. So, your favourite thing about Christmas? Thanks, Clara, for this one. Also, I am sitting in front of Chi. Robin's sitting there, she can tell you my favourite thing about Christmas.
Nothing.
Nah, I hate Christmas. Hate it. I just find it pointless. If I didn't have Robin, I would probably go abroad for Christmas every year. Sounds way more fun, doesn't it? I don't really understand it, I don't see the point.
Maybe matching jammies.
Yeah, we could go on holiday with matching jammies. Christmas Day is fun, and obviously it's good seeing your family, but normally it's just Christmas Day, isn't it? And then the next day... Oh, actually, do you know what's good about Christmas? Me and my mates go to the pub on Boxing Day. It's probably the only time we see all our mates. But yeah, it's not really my thing. I don't really understand it. It's cold. This is alright. I had nothing to do with that. Phil Robin done that all. I just sat there. And if Leo has a Christmas jumper on, that'll be cute. But I don't really like turkey. Pigs and blankets are alright. Advent calendars are good, but eating a bar of chocolate's good as well. How long have I been doing this for?
Really?
Yeah, is that telling me? Excuse us, but I'm just speaking to Robin.
12 minutes.
Ah, sweet. Right, 100 duck-sized Nicola Sturgeons or 1 Godzilla-sized Boris Johnson. Who would I fight? Right, so straight up, it doesn't matter how big Boris Johnson is or what shape he takes. I'd fight him all day long. You can tell he's an absolute nonce. He's not going to be able to fight. 100%. Nicola Sturgeon's a mouthy little rodent at the best of times, so 100 duck-sized versions of her, they would bite fuck at you in that. She looks like she could probably, I bet she fights her husband, 100%. Boris Johnson looks like an absolute wet wipe, so tell him that, if anyone knows him, square go. So I'd fight a Godzilla-sized Boris Johnson, which would look, well actually, that would look better than 100 duck-sized Nicola Sturgeons. So there's your answer for that. I'll put a poll up because I guarantee I'm right. 100% Boris Johnson's a nonce. Sorry for using the word nonce as well. Where's on the holiday list for next year for me and Robin? What I'll go to Bali, because we're meant to be in Bali in June, and obviously COVID's fucked that off. So that is definitely on the list. Anywhere else?
Dubai.
Don't know if you can hear that louder.
Dubai.
She's Glaswegian, by the way. I'll put subtitles up. Dubai would be nice because everyone in the fitness industry is there.
The Maldives.
Yeah, well, Vaughn's in the Maldives, so I wouldn't mind going there because it looks banging. I wouldn't mind going to Egypt. We go on a lot of city breaks as well, so there's quite a lot of cities for us to go to that we've got on the list. We do have a big list, I think, somewhere. because I think I wrote one last year. But if anyone's got any really good holiday destinations, hit me up on the DMs. Like, anything. If anyone's got any really out there ones, hit me with that, because that would be good. Next year, we are probably going to go on about when COVID's over, we'll probably go on like 3-4 holidays, because this year's been wank from not being away. We've only been to Belfast this year, and although it was nice, it was still COVID, and it's not really a beach, is it? And also, we went to Lindos and Rhodes last year. That was good. So if anyone likes like sort of chilled holidays, go to Lindos, which is like kind of little area in Greece. But yeah, Bali, probably Dubai. We won't go to Egypt next year, but there are a few other places we'd like to go. I want to go back to Australia for maybe like 6 weeks, so we'll probably do that a year after maybe. Mark Brimley, cheers, you've got a spare room, thanks mate. That's the answers with that. I actually don't know, there's probably fucking loads of places I want to go. Tips for a PT just starting out. Find the PT in your gym who's the busiest, and don't ask them about training or that, because 9 times out of 10 they'll train like shit. Just ask to shadow them. What do they do? How do they speak to people? What is their business setup? The only problem I think you find is one-to-one PTs tend to be a lot less organised than online coaches. One-to-one PTs for the most part are just luck or people with good chat that don't know how to PT. But I would always just find the busiest PT, find out what he's doing, and just be better at it. It's a really good way. Because if you're someone who cares about training, most PTs don't, you will be able to absolutely outdo them in a year. Another one, if you're not picking up clients, it's not because you're unlucky, it's because you're not fucking working. Literally go speak to people. Speak to everyone on the gym floor, say hi, introduce yourself. Don't try and sell straight away, but form an actual relationship with people. Hi, how you doing? Remember stuff about them, take notes on it. Kev, I used to work with, used to tell me in my diary on my phone, say I had a client coming in called Becky, fuck knows. Say I knew last week she'd got her hair done, guess the first thing I was saying when she came in the gym. Because if you remember stuff about people, your value to them is far better. So that's a good tip. Do loads of courses. You're not going to learn much from yourself, and you're not going to learn much from most people that probably starting out in gyms like Pure Gym and that. You're not going to learn a lot from the people in there, because most of them don't really know much. They don't have much structure. Go on courses from very, very good people who implement them. There's loads in the UK, maybe not so much with COVID. Hire a coach. I took 3 years to hire a coach, and I wish I had. So I worked with Joe Parrish. I wish I had him earlier, because my business would have grown a lot faster. Remember that everyone you train, until you're specialised, so now, who I work with is a little bit more specialist, Mary that's 45 and has 3 kids does not give a fuck about a top set on a leg press. You do not need to train people the way you train. Set it up in a better way. So if you know someone can only get to the gym 3 times and they really like squatting, guess what? Let them squat. You can be effective in different ways. Just the same as you don't really need to get gem pop people who just want to drop a bit of weight to worry about their macros. Things like that. Be smart. I would also say have a business plan from the get-go. Who do you want to work with? Why do they want to work with you? What's your target? Have sales targets. The amount of PTs I speak to who don't know what their sales target is for the year. At the end of the day, you run the business. You're helping people, yeah, that's great, but you need to know how much money you want to make and how much you need to make to be comfortable. So there is my advice for that. Last question is my favourite and my most difficult thing about coaching. Most difficult is that it's utterly life-consuming. So Robin will tell you, I don't really stop ever. It's like an addiction. So that's probably a difficult one, and I think that's another one for the people just starting out. If you want to become a good PT and you're not in the gym 60 hours a week and you're not training hard and you're not grafting your ass off, you don't deserve to be a coach, 100%. And anyone who's oh, shut up, Ali, that's what I think. It's a lot of work. Think about programming, think about check-ins, replying to people. That's difficult because sometimes fucking weeks pass by. The best thing about it is like results. Like, it's not even results. It's you see the before and after on Instagram, right? That's always going to be cool, but you don't see how the person's changed from that first photo to the last one. That's mad. It's also mad that you are the person helping them. Like, that's always fucking cool. So that's obviously going to be the big one. Plus, like, I think the thing is with coaching, in other jobs, you learn, you do it, and you're kind of there. I think anyone that's self-employed, you can constantly be better. Like, I'm a far better coach than I was a year ago. I'll be a far better coach next December, and the results will show that. So the thing I think I love most about it is you are in control of everything. If you want to have more clients, that's up to you. If you want to coach clients that are more suited to what you're aiming for, that's up to you. So like, it's all controlled by you, really. But yeah, results are always the fucking be all and end all. If you don't get results at PT, what you doing? You'd be as well just go work in Tesco or fucking, I don't know, somewhere else, make cocktails or some shit. Anyway, that is the Q&A. Next time I do one, I'm just going to do it on a specific thing. So like, it'll be training, nutrition. I am going to do a full day eating for the 500 people that ask me, but my appetite is shot and I've got 2 weeks of running lower calories just to get it back. So the full day eating would not be exciting. It would just be me struggling to eat a chicken breast and some broccoli. So anyway, peace out. Next week, will I do a vlog next week? I think it's Christmas Day, Thursday next week.
Maybe.
Okay, so Christmas Eve vlog next week. Y'all can see that. Any questions, hit me up in my DMs or comment on the box below. Like, subscribe, share. You know how it works.